Hey everybody, this is Dr. Heather coming to you live from Ask Dr. Heather inside my Aunt Millie's cabin. I usually don't go live this many days in a row, but after having hundreds of questions today throughout the day, either through Messenger or through email or for texting, I feel like I really owed you guys this. This is my last night at my Aunt Millie's cabin. I'm still glowing. There's no tears today because this has been in our family since the 1940s. But many of you know I have been up here really on a mini retreat for myself. I went in to eliminate a lot of the blue light, the interference, give my nervous system a chance to rest and recuperate, and mission accomplished. So based on your questions last night, hey Dave, thanks for always being there. You know, you guys have those friends that no matter what you do, they're there, they show up even when you don't ask. So I really appreciate Dave and Tina Dina out there in Louisiana, but I'm gonna go backwards today. Oftentimes we're like about starting. So whether you played sports in high school or like kids are getting ready to get back to school, you're getting the school supplies, you're getting the shoes, you're getting the bedtime adjusted, hopefully, looking at the lunches, looking at what classes to take, no matter what age you're in, getting those things set up. Again, if you're an athlete, you look at what's happening, whether you're going to start training for a triathlon, a marathon, or maybe you're just starting CrossFit. You know, you don't use any weights. You actually do proper posture first. My kids all played Suzuki instruments. They didn't get the instruments for the first 6 months. They learned the proper posture and technique. So when we talk about doing things like fasting or intermittent fasting or cutting out the gluten, it's really hard to go all in because most of the time you're not going to succeed. And we want you to have that same passion-driven mission. Why did you start this? Why did you want to do a ketogenic diet? Why did you want to do a low-carb diet? Why did you do the South Beach diet? Why? That why actually is what's going to drive you. We talked the other day about anchoring. So if you're not familiar with that, anchoring is something that brings you right back home. So when you get tempted, when things get out of control, when you get sad, you get mad, maybe you're being ridiculed or persecuted or shamed or blamed, that anchor brings you back home. So as you guys know, I have been metabolically fasting. I am using exogenous ketones because for me that helps keep my ketone level higher. I am medically supervised, checking blood pressure, checking pulse, checking urine. So it isn't something I just recommend you do for yourself, but based on the science that's out there, and I've done a lot of research, I decided to do an extended fast. I'm not recommending that for you, but you can do fasting. Like, I want to encourage 100% of you to do intermittent fasting. So don't eat while you're sleeping, and I don't want you eating 3 or 4 hours before bedtime. That I think every doctor would agree with, but we're going to go backwards today because I couldn't come in and out the cabin. So I have things set up. So in case I was going to break my fast, I had what was set in place. So if you've ever run a marathon, you know they have things set in place. Maybe you twisted your ankle, they have first aid, they have water in place. Maybe you're on a triathlon and your bike pops, they have those things in place. Maybe you forget your lunch when you're going to school, they have options in place. So you want to have strategies in place as you map out along the way. So we talked about, you know, driving from Minnesota back to Kansas, there could be obstacles, there could be rain, there could be dead deers in the road. There's always going to be those little hurdles or obstacles. How you respond to those will tell you how you actually end up completing something. So again, whether you're starting a craft project, starting school, starting, you know, working out, whatever it is, a new lifestyle, inch by inch is a cinch, yard by yard is hard. So what I want to show you, why I'm inside here today before we go outside and see the beautiful sun, there have been many families up here before me. My aunt and my uncle and some of their extended family have been up here. My dear friend Laura brought me up here. So many people have been up here. So don't judge a refrigerator, but what I do have is I have some temptations I haven't given into, but I have things in place in case I needed to break that fast. So I'm going to turn this around here. So I definitely have my tub of exogenous ketones. I definitely have some coffee that is not organic. I have a can of coconut milk. And I know it's not very light, guys, but I just thought if I break my fast, I'm actually going to do a chia seed pudding or a hemp seed pudding. And I would do the hemp seed with the chia seeds. And I also brought a little bit of swerve in case I was going to do that. I also have some mixed nuts up here if I decided I was going to do that. I also have some pork rinds, so just in case I was going to fall off the wagon, I fall off the wagon with pork rinds. Or I actually was planning to eat tomorrow morning, but I'm just not hungry, guys. I got through that last bit, but I definitely have, I know this is always fun, somebody's refrigerator. I have some tuna packs. Again, it's not all organic, but it's on the go. I fly all day tomorrow. I have a zucchini. I have bacon. I have guacamole. So I wanted to have, again, they're not organic eggs, but this is not about perfect. If I wanted to eat, I have myself set up to have some eggs. These are actually grilled vegetables left over from the other night if you saw us doing that. There is grass-fed butter. There are some real fresh tomatoes we bought down there. There are some fresh cucumbers that we bought from a farmer's market. So yes, you're gonna see some likes Mike's. That doesn't mean I'm gonna drink it. Definitely have my water in here. So I have things set in place. So as I start to come out of my fast, I'm going to nourish my body with what it's calling for. So whether that be water, or maybe I need to do some cucumbers to get through that. I'm gonna turn it back around, because how you start is important as how you finish. So I'm going to use the marathon example. If you've trained and trained for a marathon, you don't start with 26 miles, you don't start with 10, but you start warming up, walking, doing some strength training. Then when the marathon's over, you don't just stop exercising, you don't just not foam roll your body out, you don't just help get that lactic acid out, you want to continue those best practices that got you there. So when you're talking about a lifestyle plan, you want to have things in place that help keep you strategies. So strategies I had in place was an amazing support system. So as I talked about before, my dear friend from, gosh, we go way back, elementary school, we had an 8th grade hayrack ride together. She was there at my wedding. She was there when my kids were born. She actually commissioned my oldest son into the Army a year ago December. So, and she's also almost a 500-hour certified yoga teacher. So I wanted to have someone in place who knew me and could keep me in check without shaming or blaming. I also have had my husband on the line, because there's been times I've been hungry. I've also had a couple prayer warriors from my church that said, hey, I need a little bit of help today. I'm not hungry. I'm just really craving food. And so we talked about that why. Why do you want to run a marathon? Why do you want to sew a quilt? Why do you want to do the things that you do? For my why, it was actually upgrading my health. And anytime, sorry guys, I'm trying to come out here to get some nice, beautiful weather out here and keep the and keep the Wi-Fi. So I haven't been able to do that much this weekend. So you can see the beautiful woods behind me. So as you talk about your why, my why for doing this, I think you guys have realized by now, I have a rare neurological disease called reflex sympathetic dystrophy. Dystrophy means that you lose lean muscle mass. However, we know on a ketogenic diet, the science is out there that your body actually can turn off myostatin to help preserve lean muscle mass. We also know that sugar feeds inflammation. So if I can give my body a break and not feed sugar and fight the sugar, and I can do that many different ways. I've done it with acupuncture in my office. I've done it with biofeedback or neurofeedback, ionic foot bath, hot saunas, drinking ketones. These are just a tool to help get your body where you want it to be. So as I optimized to upgrade my life, which is getting more muscle back, walking, dancing, hopefully water skiing sometime soon. If not, it's okay. I tried, because I didn't want to look back and go, okay, I can't do a 21-day fast. I know the medical information's out there. Maybe I could do a 10-day. I did a lot of vision work about it. I was manifesting what would this look like if I come up to the cabin. And a lot of people said I can't do it. They said you shouldn't be there by yourself, because I don't drive. I'm 25 miles from town. My neighbors are up over there of the hill. I don't have a boat in the dock right now. Actually, the pontoon boat's down there, but it wouldn't get me to safety. But I had enough people that had faith and trust, and I said everything in support that I needed. I had those friends that I could 911 saying, okay, talk me out of eating there's a loaf of bread I forgot to show you, a loaf of bread with toast and butter and local jam or local honey. Talk me out of that. And they're like, are you hungry? I'm like, no. Are you gonna regret it if that happens? So really what happened is I talked about starting, not starting. So Tuesday, mindfully, I stopped eating at noon. And then Thursday night, Laura brought these delicious homegrown steaks from Kansas, and she's gonna grill it up for her and her son. And she said, do you want some? And I know that there's still benefits of doing a 48-hour fast and free feeding with steak and tomatoes. And I thought, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I'm all the way up here. It's been a couple years since I've been here. I want to do that. I want to enjoy it. So it's not all about focusing on what I'm not gonna eat, but focusing on what's important. So I did have to restart, just being super honest with yourself, with you guys, and knowing that it's okay if you're not perfect. This is about progress. If you just fast 12 hours a day, you can have amazing health results, because you're saving that insulin that you're not needing while you're eating food. You're allowing your body to rest. So somebody said, why would you do it with chronic regional pain syndrome? Why would you do it with any invisible pain? Because people think keto diet, fat loss, drink the exogenous ketones, fat loss. That is one of the benefits, but the benefits are far more deeper than that. Studying them for 100 years, originally ketones were to help people who were unresponsive to seizure medication, actually help control children's seizures. I was having seizures. I haven't had anymore. I was having tics and tremors. I don't have anymore. I'm not going to post pictures on it, so just believe me. Or maybe I will. I don't know. I haven't been inspired to do that. But how you start something and your why is so important, because then when you focus on that and you focus on your anchor, then you know how hard you're going to finish, right? And again, being an athlete for many years, your coach would never say, hey, if you're in first place, just slow down and jog through the finish line, right? They wouldn't say that. Like, play to the buzzer, play past the buzzer, run through the line. Well, that's what I want to do. I want to run through the line. So my goal was actually to stop tonight or maybe tomorrow morning and have some eggs and again some light greens, because when you're coming out of a fast, it's very, very important that you don't start dumping stuff in there. I explain it like going to the dentist or having a colonoscopy. And you go to the dentist, they do that deep cleaning. The last thing you're going to do is eat Wacky Taffy. You're not going to put all that sugar back in your mouth. The same thing's true in your body. When you get your body cleaned out and you've given your body that rest so it can rebuild immune system, it can rebuild brain cells, it can rebuild and rebalance out your blood sugar, the last thing you want to do is dump a bunch of garbage in there. So you want to use it as a tool to upgrade and optimize your life. I've never met anybody who says, boy, I want to age faster. Boy, I can't wait to be 90 so I can have all this pain and all these other stats everyone's telling me. I haven't met anybody that says that. Everyone says, I want to slow it down. People are doing things cosmetically on the outside of their body. I'm not judging, but to try to slow down the aging process, where aging actually begins from the inside. And when you can start giving your body energy from the inside, it actually has a potential of healing. And we talked last night about the triad of health, that everything's important, the mental emotional component. So for me, being mentally up here with so many amazing memories, decades, I'm over 5 decades old, amazing decades of memories of past loved ones that have left this earth, but I still smile and remember lots of different areas. I took a picture of the outhouse today. I was going to post that because I remember having to use that when I came up here in high school. Not a super fan. Not. So anyway, we now have indoor plumbing, which is awesome. We had little tea roof parties up on the roof of the cabin, if I can show you the cabin. So we used to have little parties up there, tea parties with my great aunt who had this property. But I really want you to do some more homework for me, which is, where's your starting point? We talked about running a race or fasting. You can't just say all of a sudden, tomorrow I'm just not going to eat, because that does not work. You need to be medically cleared by your doctor. You need to write down your list of why. You need to make a plan when you're going to start, when you're going to stop, and you can go with this very slowly. We talked last night, just simply figure out what you're eating. If you're eating 200 grams of carbs, simply reduce it by 20% every week, and then go from there and let your body acclimate to it. It's kind of like, that frog. You wouldn't just put it in boiling water, it'd jump out. So if you try to go fasting and just eliminate all foods, you're probably going to jump out. But if you put that frog in warm water and turn it up a little bit, it gets acclimated. The same thing's true for your body. So if you guys are getting ready to do the reboot, I'm nervous because my husband just jumped on. Let me take a drink and set this down. It's Heart Tart Ketones. But I do want to show this amazing thing. So when you get ready to start, or if you're getting ready to do the reboot, as many of you guys are on here, best practices are, you want to start shrinking your stomach a little bit. You want to start having your last meal 4 or 5 times before bedtime. It's not going to shock your system. So as you warm up into the reboot, or warm up into doing intermittent fasting, or warm up into doing any fasting, studies show that actually 24 hours of fasting once a month can actually anti-age and upgrade your health. We talked last night about fasting for men can actually upgrade your human growth hormone. Yep, your body can do it itself by fasting 5 times for men, 2 times for women on a 48-hour fast. So now my Aunt Jill is on here, who has this amazing property. So hopefully she is enjoying the view up here, because she has already been here but home. But Aunt Jill, we're just simply talking about the amazing mental, emotional component I have of being here and having the strength from the memories that I have to actually fast through these last few days, having the opportunity to come to this amazing anchor in my life, where I can say, I can do this for my kids. I want to be healthier for my kids. I want to be out there water skiing or out there on the boat. I want to be running around playing bocce ball and everything that we do here fun. So when you look at your health and you say, I am not where I want to be, whether it's mental, emotional, whether it's physical, maybe it's obese, maybe it's physical, you're not in the shape you want to be in. Again, you wouldn't start training for a marathon. You'd start from a couch to a 5K, or just start moving. So you need to identify where that weakness is, or where the strengths are as well. If your diet's on point but exercise is terrible, that is so easy to get going. But you have to have several things in place. You have to have a plan. When am I going to start? What is my starting point? I'm already walking 20 minutes, okay, where do I go from there? And get with a trainer, get with someone that has knowledge or a movement expert to get going. Mental, emotional, you cannot solve things by yourself. There are lots of amazing therapists out there and groups out there, Facebook groups, there's biofeedback, neurofeedback, but identify that those are the things that you need help with. So for me, it's about a gratitude journal. So the first day I landed here, I don't know if Jill, you saw that, it was about being grateful that my great aunt Millie bought this cabin in the 1940s for future generations, and here we are this late, and I've got 4 kiddos that are soon to be the next generation. They're millennials. And knowing that this can be there for them and for my cousins and for our extended families, it means a lot that she foresaw that. So today, I'm trying to foresee my future. I want to be stronger and better and upgrade my health from where I am to be a better wife, to be a better mother, to be a better doctor, to be a better leader. And then why do I get on social media? Because if I'm in my office, I can't help people if I'm not there. If I am there, I'm only helping one person at a time, where, you know, if I'm on here, there's one thing I could say that could possibly inspire one person to get moving, to get going, or to reach out for help and say, you know what, I'm ready to make a change. I'm ready to upgrade my health. And I know that I believe that anybody can do anything one step at a time. And like Dr. Ralph was saying, 1% better every day adds up. I say 2 to 3%. But if you think, you know what, and I'm going to talk about those 3 things we talked about last night, is that we all need oxygen. We have to have it. We can only go a couple minutes. So if we walk around stressed, or we have to have a CPAP, or we have obesity, or we have inflammation in our sinuses, we can't breathe. That is aging our body, right? We know we can go 3 days without water. Why are 79% of people dehydrated in America or globally? We know that water is so important. We could only go 3 days without it. Why are people not drinking water and choosing to spend money on soda and soft drinks? I'm not pointing fingers. I'm just saying, why is that happening? We know water is so vital for our body. The third thing we need is nutrition. When you're eating food, you are either feeding a disease or you're fighting a disease. When you're fasting, you're actually fighting a disease, because we know it balances out your blood sugar. Type 2 diabetes, type 3 diabetes is rampant. We also know that if you fast more than 72 hours, your body recirculates brand new white blood cells. Think of what that means for someone with cancer or leukemia or Lyme disease or HIV or any kind of chronic chemical pathological disease. We need white blood cells. That's our army. That's our defense to help fight things. We also know that when we're at fasted state, our liver's not having to process. I probably had 200 or 300 people last night say, I don't have my gallbladder. What am I supposed to do? Well, don't eat fried processed food. Take away dairy. It's a very hard molecule to break down. And start eating clean and green and more healthy plant fats. There's super simple, easy things to do. And what somebody said last night is, this is way too hard. I can't figure out the keto thing. I can't figure out the low carb thing. Well, first of all, don't count anything right now, which means don't start calculating what the computer says. Start by eliminating the garbage, which is cakes and cookies and pies and sugars. Yes, I can make keto cookies. I can make a keto coffee cake. It's still not as good as Cinnabon, I'll be honest. But what you want to do is you want to teach your body to go back for that native style of eating. Basic eating. We wake up, we have eggs. That's why chicken lay them, for us to eat them, or have some sausage, or have chia pudding if you're doing more of a vegan route. So it's very, very easy. I've been up here by myself, some people, and I love that my Aunt Jill and my husband are on here, said, you know what, I don't know if you should be up there by yourself for a few days. Are you sure you're fine? Are you sure you're okay? What do you mean nobody's up there with you? Well, I do have a phone. I could call 911 because, again, I don't have transportation, don't have a vehicle, but I have an amazing, amazing lake right in front of me, and an amazing scenery that God has painted that overrides probably the necessity for anything else. As you saw the refrigerator, I have the staples that I need. If in doubt, I get hungry. If I want to break that fast, again, we talk about fasting. I'm not making any medical claims. I'm not giving any advice. I'm choosing this for myself, and I want to share this journey with you. I talked about it. It wasn't easy. My husband will tell you, there was texting. He's like, don't do it. Don't do it. I'm like, oh, there's a like Mike's in there. I want to sit at the end of the dock and have, a drink before I go home. He goes, you're going to regret it. Don't do it. So what I'm going to try to do is keep on fasting and keep on checking in with you guys. And I would love your support. Please feel free to reach out to me, because some hours it's hard. I don't know what happens. You wake up, you feel great, and they're like, oh my gosh, there's a loaf of bread. I could toast that up and put butter and honey on it. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. And then, like, my neighbor's going to town, you want something? I'm like, no, don't show me that. I have a friend up in Alaska catching crab. I'm like, oh, crab and butter. I'm not hungry is the thing. I'm just craving foods for some ridiculous reason. So that's really the important thing. So I'm going to close out here instead of being long-winded. When you decide to make a health lifestyle change, make a map, write down your why. Why do you want to do this? My why is huge. I want to live to see my kids have kids. It may not happen. I could get in a car wreck tomorrow. The airplane could crash. Who knows? I'm good with God, ready to go, hopefully. But I want to do everything that I can for the vessel that I have right now. So the vessel you have, whatever it is. Oh my gosh, it's raining and Sarah's coming over. Okay, so it's raining right now, guys. This is craziness. So it's raining. I'm going to go right inside, but I do want to make sure that you guys, I'm going to turn around here so I can go in, that when you're starting to make a health journey, you actually write down your why. You write down a roadmap of how you want it to look from day 1 to day 2 to day 3, and how you're going to finish that. So I've got a plan in place. I'm not for sure where the finish line is. I have written down some things. I think, Sarah, that was it for the weather.
I don't know.
I don't know. It was just how it was. So I had Sarah to go to town to get me some more water because I'm going to be out tomorrow. And anyway, hopefully I inspired you and answered a few hundred of your questions you guys had last night. I will continue to post stuff on my journey as you guys ask, because I do want to inspire you, because we know that when there's hope, hope leads to inspiration. Inspiration leads to action steps. So maybe somebody said, you know what, I actually think I can do that. I talked with a friend today and I said, what time are you waking up? Well, I wake up at 6. What time are you eating? Well, 7:30. What time are you eating dinner? Well, I eat dinner at 6 or 7, but then I always have a bedtime snack. And I'm like, why are you snacking before bed? Like, I don't get that. Like, do you need energy before bed? It's a habit usually. It's a craving. It's an emotional connection. I had somebody else say, you know what, I've done a fast. Day 1, I do great. What is happening on day 2? Because I am totally hangry, angry. Because we know that sugar is highly addictive. Not all food, but sugar is highly addictive, more than many drugs, which can mean that as you start to come off of sugar, you're going to have the rebound, some emotional changes, some happiness, some sadness, some hangriness. So put those things in place where you have that support system, whether it's a journal, whether it's a favorite song, whether it's a favorite place, whether it's people you can trust that will not shame or blame and support you on your mission. Have those things in place, because it's not just about not eating at a certain hour. It's more about the emotional connection to it and why you're doing it. Again, I will never say this is about fat loss. It's always about improving my immune system, improving my neurological brain, because our brain is everything, right? ALS happens in the brain, RSD, MS. We can start going through a lot of things. Anxiety, depression, PTSD, brain cancer. There's so many things that happen. Our pituitary gland tells our thyroid what to do for thyroid imbalances. Our brain also tells our body when to ovulate for female who are fighting infertility or those invisible pains that we talked about. Migraines are things that happen in the head. Imbalance, vestibular issues, brain. Our brain tells the rest of our body what to do. When we're brain dead, that's when we go away, right? So we can live without a leg, you can live without a kidney, you can live without a heart, you can get a pacemaker, an arm, a finger, a toe, a lip, an eyeball, but you cannot live without your brain. It is the center for everything that we do for your central nervous system, your peripheral nervous system. So feed your brain. Every time you open up your mouth and you're putting food, decide, am I feeding my body? Oh, now it's picking up. And if you have RSD, rain does not feel good. So as we start to, sorry guys, close in tonight, the first rain, and it's dark right now, know that you can do all things. Simply put those support systems in place. Again, don't just try it tomorrow, but put those things in place and put down your tips. I didn't cover a lot of stuff, so put down your tips, put down what works for you. And remember, whatever you start, finish strong, have a why, map it out, get a support system. It's not that many things. I'll put them down below. That will create success. And know that if it's not perfect, it's okay. Like Dr. Ralph said, 1 degree shift every day creates major successes that add up. So breathing is 2%, sleeping is 3%, food is 4%, exercise is 5%. You're already up to 20% better with your lifestyle as you want to upgrade your current health status. So if you've not tried, I'm going to give a big shout out. If you've not tried ketones, you don't know what to do, I have an amazing 10-day keto kickstart plan that gives you meals and menus. Getting ready to kick off the reboot, and Dr. Ralph could tell you, we have about 12 spots left in our clinic for the keto reboot that starts on Sunday. So shout out, give us a message, send a message to the office. But tonight was about really just letting you know my last night in this amazing place. I hope you all have an anchor. So identify that anchor, another homework I gave you, and start writing down what you're eating, because if you don't know what you're eating, you don't know what you can change. Measure how much water water you're drinking, all those sorts of things. Measure your body, get your weight, get your blood pressure, get your blood sugar. That way you know what you're doing is optimizing your body. So I'm going to turn this around, and I want you to say, this is my very last night up here for over a year. So good night, Big Sand. Hope you guys enjoy this amazing, amazing view. It is still starting to rain, which I absolutely love. Thank you guys for joining me this week. Thank you for your inspiration and your support. And then we will be back on next Thursday night, which is our regular time, talking about all things hormone, male and female, andropause, menopause, PCOS, infertility, hysterectomies, partial hysterectomies, birth control, all those things you guys have written me about, we're going to talk about next Thursday at 7:30 Central Standard Time. And thank you for all the hearts, whoever's sending them. It might just be my husband, I don't know. But you guys, thank you for the hearts. I'm going to go get my water from Sarah, and we're going to enjoy this beautiful, beautiful rainstorm here in Big Sand in Dorset, Minnesota. Crush.